There are moments in history when humanity stands on the very edge of greatness. And then, in a single heartbeat, greatness becomes survival. April 11th, 1970. The world wasn't watching. Not really. Just 9 months earlier, humans had walked on the moon for the first time in all of human history. The impossible had been done. The unthinkable had been thought. And somehow, in the strange arithmetic of human attention, it had already become boring. Newspapers no longer ran moon missions on the front page. They buried them somewhere between the weather and the box scores. Television networks were pulling away from live coverage before it even started. The public had moved on. The moon had become a commute. Apollo 13 was supposed to be just another flight, another launch, another landing, another flag planted in dust that no wind would ever disturb. Nobody was watching. The crew couldn't have been more ordinary, considering they were about to leave the planet. Commander Jim Lovell, 42 years old, a veteran of 3 previous space flights. He had orbited the moon once before, on Apollo 8, and looked down at its gray craters from 60 miles up without ever setting foot on it. This was supposed to be his moment. Calm, unshakable. The kind of man who could stare into the infinite black of space and feel something close to peace. Fred Hayes was heading to the moon for the first time. Young, eager, ready. And then there was Jack Swigert. Jack Swigert wasn't even supposed to be there. Days before launch, the original command module pilot, Ken Mattingly, had been exposed to German measles. NASA's doctors couldn't risk it. They made a decision almost nobody outside mission control ever fully appreciated. They pulled one astronaut and dropped in another. Think about what that means. You have spent years of your life, years, training for a single mission. Every simulation, every technical briefing, every sleepless night studying systems manuals. All of it aimed at one flight, one moment. And then, 3 days before launch, someone calls you and says, "Pack your bags. You're going to the moon!" Jack Swigert had 72 hours to prepare for something most humans will never do in a lifetime. On April 11th, launch day, the crowd at Kennedy Space Center pressed forward against the barriers. The Saturn V rocket, taller than a 36-story building, heavier than a Navy destroyer, sat on the pad.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
7.5 million pounds of thrust hit the Earth at once. The ground shook for miles. Windows rattled in homes across the county. Birds scattered from trees. And slowly, impossibly slowly for something burning that much energy, 3,000 tons of steel and fuel and fire and human ambition rose into the sky. 3 men sitting on top of the largest controlled explosion in history, going to the moon. Everything worked perfectly. Almost too perfectly. For 2 days, Apollo 13 became background noise. The astronauts joked with mission control. They filmed the Earth shrinking in their windows, that blue marble getting smaller and smaller until it looked like something you could cover with your thumb. They floated through the cabin in weightlessness. They laughed. Back on Earth, CBS didn't even air their scheduled broadcast from the spacecraft. Not enough viewers had tuned in. The moon had become ordinary. No one was paying attention. Which is exactly when the universe decided to remind humanity who was actually in charge. April 13th, 1970, 9:08 p.m., Houston time. Apollo 13 was 200,000 miles from Earth, closer to the moon now than to home, when Mission Control sent up what should have been the most forgettable instruction of the entire flight. 13. We'd like you to stir the cryo tanks. The cryogenic oxygen tanks. Routine. Standard procedure. They'd done it before. The oxygen inside could settle and stratify if left alone, so every few hours they stirred it, just like you'd stir a drink. Jack Swigert reached over and flipped the switch. 2 seconds later, the spacecraft shuddered. Not violently, not like an explosion in a movie. It was subtler than that. A low, heavy bang that every astronaut felt in their bones before they heard it. The kind of vibration that doesn't make noise so much as it makes silence. Warning lights began blinking. Electrical systems fluctuated, and in mission control in Houston, dozens of engineers stared at their consoles, watching numbers that simply made no sense. Then Jim Lovell, Commander Jim Lovell, the man who had seen everything, who nothing rattled, keyed his radio.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main B plus undervolt. Roger, main B undervolt. Okay, stand by, 13. We're looking at it.
In the first moments, nobody fully understood what had happened. An oxygen tank number 2, to be precise, in the service module behind the crew, had experienced a catastrophic failure. An electrical fault, buried in years of manufacturing decisions and design oversights, had ignited insulation inside the tank. The pressure had built, and then it had simply let go. The explosion ripped open a panel on the side of the spacecraft. Jim Lovell floated to the window. Something was venting into space, a white cloud, thin and almost graceful, trailing off into the black. It looked almost beautiful, until he understood what he was looking at. That cloud was oxygen, their oxygen, the same oxygen that powered their fuel cells, which made their electricity, which ran every system on that ship. It was bleeding into the void at a rate nobody could stop. In mission control, the data confirmed what the eyes already feared. Oxygen tank 2, gone. Oxygen tank 1, dropping. Fuel cell 1, dead. Fuel cell 3, dead. Power dropping. Oxygen disappearing. The spacecraft becoming less alive with every passing minute. And then the final terrible clarity hit. Apollo 13 was not going to make it to the moon. The question, the only question that mattered now, was whether it was going to make it home.